Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Reborn as a Snake, Turning into a Dragon. Chapter 61. Deep in the Tianxing Mountains. On the throne of the main hall of a bamboo forest castle, sat a well-dressed young man. This person is full of demonic aura. It is the deep mountain demon King Changqing Wang. King Changqing's Taoism of more than 100,000 years has long been demonized. The manifested human form is very handsome, which can be described as picturesque. But there was an evil spirit between his brows, and the evil spirit all over his body was burning like a flame. Form a unique and terrifying vision of the level of the demon king. This vision is like a shadow, like a crown symbol. It represents the supreme status of the king. On both sides of the main hall, stood 8 or 9 10,000-year demons with powerful auras. All look like humans. They are all the kings of the same race, and they are vassals under the command of the evergreen king. Follow his orders. The monsters in this world become humans, not just under the avenue. The human race should be prosperous. It is a symbol of strength. Because only the 10,000-year demon can truly transform into a demon and have a flesh and blood body. Beep increase. Right now, the kings of these races are staring at the tall man on the throne with bated breath. Eyes full of awe. King Changqing is one of the 4 rulers of Tianxing Mountain. How high is the status, controlling the power of life and death of countless races. A few days ago, an interesting thing happened. Changqing Wang said slowly. There was a snake in the Wolongtan on the shallow mountain, and it was a dragon. Presumably, he should have 10,000 years of Taoism. What do you think? As the base camp of monsters, Tianxing Mountain has an unwritten rule. If the king of any race has not reached the level of the 10,000-year demon, he is not qualified to enter the deep mountains to practice. It also means that you can't step into the ranks of the upper-class monster society. It is not popular. In the deep mountainous area, the land is vast, the aura is rich, and practice can get twice the result with half the effort. The most important thing is that the terrain of the deep mountain is high, there are many races, and there are 4 great demon kings in the deep mountain. Don't worry about being apprehended by the human race monster slayer. Therefore, the major races crowded their heads and wanted to enter the depths of Tianxing Mountain. In the depths, it is also called the demon spirit world. Of course, even if there are 10,000-year demons in the race, they want to enter the demon spirit world. The vassal must be under the command of a certain ruler. Only when the ruler nodded, the race could migrate in. Your Majesty wants to recruit the snake race into the demon spirit realm. A burly man stood out, as strong as a mountain, with lush black hair all over his body. The main body is a one-horned pig. The king of the pig line. The snake clan is nothing more than a long worm. They dream of flying into the sky and transforming into dragons all day long, trying to surpass all races. They are ambitious. Such a race is not worthy of entering the world of demon spirits. Your Majesty, since the king of the snake clan has successfully escaped the dragon, he may not be easy to control. Everyone opposed it one after another. The snake clan is a very special race. It's fine if they don't transform into dragons, but once they transform into dragons, no one can restrain them. With a smile on the corner of King Changqing's mouth, he listened to the opinions of the kings of all races. Seeing everyone's opposition, this is exactly the result he wanted. The snake clan is like a time bomb. Once it explodes, even the demon king of the deep mountain will crawl down. That day when the snake escaped, the 72 heavenly tribulations would come, and his mysterious tortoise predicted that if the other party successfully escaped, I am afraid that there will be a 5th ruler of the deep mountain demon king in the demon spirit world of Tianxing Mountain. Now, Zhaolong has appeared, so we have to guard against it. King Changqing had already shown his murderous intentions, but he couldn't make a direct move. Otherwise, everyone would think that he is a majestic demon king with a guilty conscience. Therefore, there is a meeting in front of me. Everyone, Tianxing Mountain has the rules of Tianxing Mountain. Let's invite the king of the snake clan to come up and sit down first. If the other party is a well-behaved person who is willing to take refuge in this king will tolerate it and is willing to set aside a territory for the snake clan to practice. As King Changqing said, he waved his big hand and said, the one who is willing to go down to the demon spirit world to invite that flood dragon instead of this king. The burly man from before stood up and said, the old pig is willing to go. Okay, then I will work hard for Pig King. It would be best if the other party is willing to go up the mountain if he wants to save face. If not, Pig King, you can just figure it out. As he said that, Chengqing Wang took a deep look at Zhu Wang. Pig King understood, and smiled. The kings of the major races in the hall also tacitly said that King Chengqing sent Pig King to invite him. In fact, it is to send the Pig King to kill. To avoid future troubles. ... People are afraid of being famous and pigs are afraid of being strong. Lin Mu is practicing at the bottom of the pond with peace of mind. Didn't know that he was being missed by a certain boss again. This time, it's not the master of the human demon slaying division, nor the ghosts and gods of the immortal division. It's the deep mountain demon king who is also a demon clan. It is said that where there are people, there is competition, oppression, and conspiracy. A monster can be cultivated for 100 years to become a spirit, 1,000 years to be a monster, and 10,000 years to be a king. But all 10,000-year demons are more sinister and cunning than humans. Naturally understand the principle of taking precautions before they happen. Lin Mu at the bottom of the pool accelerated his cultivation by a factor of 100,000, and his Taoism skyrocketed day by day. Invisibly, there are a large number of merit scales on the head. Less can add up. Black and white impermanence works very hard, Lin Mu expressed his satisfaction. During the cultivation period, he had nothing to do to make it rain and earn some merit. But later Lin Mu found that the rain didn't work anymore, and it rained several times in a row. Not a single merit scale was found. Little did they know that the Ming court had already issued a yellow book of rainfall to Gongxianxi. Allow ghosts and gods to reign. In the suburbs where there was a severe drought, there was no harvest, and the people had no water to drink. But in recent days, there has been a steady stream of rain in the sky. All at once, for a whole day, it was almost a flood. The ghosts and gods for Shanxi will never allow another snake to rob them of the merits of heaven and earth. Snatched away the faith of the people of Liming. This is a pain for the people in the suburbs, because there was no rain before. Now it's raining too much, and it's flooding. A heavy rain had just stopped, and before anyone could kick his breath, it rained again in the blink of an eye. Endless. Lin Mu sees that the rain won't make any merits, so it is predicted by the prophet. I also understood a general idea in my heart. Now the heavy responsibility of earning merit has been handed over to black and white impermanence. This is another hardship for those ghost cultivators in Tianxing Mountain. Those ghosts and evil spirits practiced in dark and damp caves. First, he didn't go down the mountain to claim his life, and second, he didn't show off everywhere, and disaster fell from the sky. Black and white impermanence deserves to be a good hand at catching ghosts. Once the soul hunting chain in his hand is sacrificed, even a 1,000-year-old ghost can't stop it. In just a few days, 3 or 4 waves of ghost cultivators have been swept away. Killed thousands of ghosts. Simply insane. It is rare for Lin Mu to calm down and practice. Don't be disturbed by others. Everything is ready for Hualong. According to the previous system planning, 10,000 years can reach the gate of heaven and transform into a dragon. Lin Mu just hee. 10,000 years of cultivation is simply not enough to cope with the catastrophe. 20,000 years is about the same. In the blink of an eye, a month passed, and Lin Mu's Taoism strengthened to 15,000 years. 100,000 times faster, so cool. It's just that I didn't comprehend any method of Tiangong in the middle. A little disappointed. But I also understand after thinking about it. After all, the methods of Tiangong are all great supernatural powers that can destroy the world. The requirements for Taoism are relatively high. But one thing I have to say is that the system has started to show item rewards. With a thought in Lin Mu's mind, a sword appeared in front of him, measuring 3 feet and 7 inches long. The hilt is in the shape of a dragon, the whole body is purple, and the momentum is compelling. Floating in the pool water, the precious light is shining, and all evils are warded off. This is the evil sword. It has a certain restraint effect on monsters and ghosts. Although Lin Mu has no hands or feet and cannot hold a sword, he can control the sword with his divine sense. Once the magic power is infused, the evil-resisting sword will turn into a purple current light, and the light of the sword energy will increase by more than 10 feet. The power is astonishing, devastating. After playing for a while, Receive. With a thought in Lin Mu's mind, the sword turned into light spots of rice grains, fell into the Zhao's mouth, and sank into the belly to nourish. Lin Mu couldn't help thinking wickedly that he could use the evil disciplining sword as a hidden weapon. Zhao opened his mouth, and shot out the evil resisting sword in shock, sealing his throat with blood. Kill the enemy invisible. After the episode, Lin Mu continued to practice. Until one day, black and white impermanence was transmitted thousands of miles away. Said to have encountered a hard stubble. In a certain ghost cultivating force, there is actually a 10,000-year ghost king sitting in town. I'm afraid I can't deal with it. 10,000 years ghost king is equal to great merit. Lin Mu's pupils were shining, and he jumped out from the bottom of the pool without saying a word. In the middle of nowhere, he flew towards the position of black and white impermanence. As the flood passed by, everything in the forest crawled and trembled. Somewhere in the humid area of Tianxing Mountain, there is a gloomy atmosphere, and ghosts and wolves howl all the year round. At first glance, it is a place where ghosts gather. There is a ghost cultivator here called 100 Ghost Cave. Originally, this 100 Ghosts Cave was just a group of lonely wild Guiwu who made their homes, and everyone gathered together to keep warm. It's like a beggar's den. In the beginning, there wasn't even a 1,000-year-old ghost. Shabby no. Even if you go down the mountain to risk your life, you have to inquire about it and find a soft persimmon to pinch. But I don't know what happened in recent years. His master ghost travels thousands of miles in a day. Not to mention the rapid breakthrough of the 1,000-year Taoism, within 2 years, he became the 10,000-year ghost king. Rise to fame. The Valley of 100 Ghosts has also become a famous ghost cultivator in Tianxing Mountain. All kinds of ghosts turned into ghosts with grievances were thrown into the 100 Ghosts Cave with the idea of hugging their thighs. In a short period of time, it has developed rapidly. In addition to the 10,000-year Ghost King, there are now no less than 10,000-year level evil ghosts in the 100 Ghost Cave. Black and white impermanence swept across the surrounding ghost cultivators, sweeping and sweeping. Swept to this hard bone. The two majestic 5th-rank yin gods couldn't even break through the gate of the 100 Ghosts Cave. In desperation, he could only ask his master for help. Turn your sight. In a large cave in the 100 Ghosts Cave, 8,000-year-old ghosts with powerful auras were seated. They seemed to be discussing important matters. What's going on with this black and white impermanence? They just set their sights on our 100 Ghosts Cave, and the endless door-to-door provocations. Do you really think we are easy to bully? An evil ghost, complaining angrily. Old 10 and Old 9 died in their hands, enough for them to go back to work. Why are they still lingering? If Lord Ghost King was not in seclusion, how could this pair of yin gods be allowed to be arrogant? One of the old ghosts said sadly. Before the Lord Ghost King retreated, he told me to prepare 100 virgin boys and 100 virgin girls to help him practice evil skills. Go. One-on-one with black and white impermanence, but he couldn't beat, and 2,000-year-old ghosts died. Group fight together. Black and white impermanence can't beat, turn around and leave. But as long as ghosts leave the cave, black and white impermanence will appear strangely again. Break down one by one. Shameless especially. Is it a bit strange that everyone said that although this black and white impermanence is for Shanxi to catch ghosts and ghosts, it has always been caught at the foot of the mountain. It has never been like this. I came to Tianxing Mountain to catch it hard. If I can't catch it, I will spend it. Is it because our 100 Ghost Cave has risen too fast and was targeted by Gong Shanxi, trying to uproot us? Just relying on its black and white impermanence. At this time, a little ghost floated outside. News, black and white impermanence appeared again, shouting outside. Clamor. A 1,000-year-old ghost was surprised, since they jointly repelled the impermanence of black and white. This pair of yin gods are smart. They never face a confrontation, they only engage in sneak attacks. Are you going to be tough this time? Quack quack. I must have lost my patience, and I can't bear it with us. Okay, everyone, black and white impermanence wants to be tough. We will give them a chance. All ghost cultivators will come out of the hole. This time we must not let black and white impermanence escape. Suddenly, the wind gusts howled out. The 8,000-year-old ghosts took the lead, and many little ghosts followed. In an open space outside the cave, the black and white impermanence wearing the official uniform of Xi'an Xin stood with a poker face. Immediately, all the ghosts from the 100 Ghosts cave rushed out, filled with ghostly aura, and there was a creepy aura in the air. One after another ghost shadows quickly surrounded the black and white impermanence. The impermanence of black and white turned a deaf ear, pretending not to see it at all. Even if it is surrounded by 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside like an iron barrel, I don't care. After the encirclement circle was formed, a leading 1,000-year-old ghost with fierce eyes said, "Black and white are impermanent, your time of death has come, let's see how you escape this time." Escape? Xie Bian chuckled. Whoever escapes, whose grandson? Okay. The leading old ghost was suspicious when he heard the words, there was something wrong with this black and white impermanence. Suddenly confident, you must know that everyone has dealt with each other a lot during this time, and no one knows whose ability. Just relying on the black and white impermanence pair of yin gods, it is absolutely impossible to be the opponent of the ghosts in the 100 Ghosts cave. Have you found reinforcements? The old ghost suddenly communicated and couldn't help questioning. However, following this questioning, a heavy shadow fell from the sky above his head, covering the sky and the sun for a while. All the ghosts raised their heads suddenly, their faces paled in shock. A huge dragon hovered in the sky, and the horns on its head were filled with a majestic and terrifying aura. Ah! The yin god of Gongxianxi found a dragon as a reinforcement. The ghosts in the 100 Ghosts cave were stunned. What kind of routine is this? Lin Mu, who was hanging in the sky, glanced down, knowing what to do. 8 fierce ghosts with a level of more than 1,000 years, and 300 little ghosts with more than 100 years of Taoism. Gathering together, the ghostly aura is quite terrifying. Not bad, it should bring me a lot of merit. What about the Wanian Ghost King? Lin Mu didn't notice that the spiritual consciousness spread, covering a radius of hundreds of miles. Immediately, they probed into the depths of the cave, and there was a strong ghostly aura that intensified. Under the Qi technique, blackness does not slip away. The sin is heavy. Black and white are impermanent. You are shameless. In the battle between ghosts, you actually invited a dragon to help out, breaking the rules. The 1,000-year-old ghost suppressed the shock in his heart and suppressed the terrifying coercion that invaded from above. With a big wave of his hand, little ones, go back to the cave. Make it to me. A cold voice came from above, which instantly frightened the group of ghosts. There was a ripple in the space, and then it seemed that time was stopped. Everything is fixed. With just one fixed word, the ghosts on the inner 3 floors and the outer 3 floors found themselves unable to move. Like petrification. There is a powerful and mysterious force controlling his body. This is the art of fixing the body and earth evil. Lei Lai. Zhaolong raised his head, and saw countless black clouds suddenly gathered above the sky, and thunder was swimming in the clouds. Thunder and lightning. Boom. A large number of thunderbolts snaked down from the black clouds, thunderbolt lightning. The ghosts stared at each other, watching the thunder and lightning falling towards them. I want to run, but I can't move. In the next second, it was blasted into a puff of black smoke and dissipated. All of a sudden, thunder and lightning fell like raindrops, and puffs of black smoke rose from the open space of the cave. Like a miasma, even those 1,000-year-old ghosts who have practiced for thousands of years are not immune. Watching the lightning fall on him with his own eyes, and then his consciousness dissipated and disappeared. There is no resistance at all. It was extremely aggrieved to die. A person turns into a ghost after death, and if the ghost dies again, it will be a real ghost. Less than a cup of tea. The 100 ghost caves were wiped out. Lin Mu, who was entrenched in the sky, was immediately bathed in a burst of merit light. A large number of merit scales on the head have been covered at a speed visible to the naked eye. Tens of thousands of pieces were enhanced almost at once. In addition to the merits of the previous reigns, and the merits brought about by the recent work of black and white impermanence. Now Lin Mu's head is protected by no less than 100,000 meritorious scales. But his dragon head is huge. Even if there are 100,000 pieces, it is far from enough. Fortunately, the towering dragon horns have been completely covered by merit. Dudulong horn, bright and dazzling, glowing with holy light. It's like stars gathering on it. Like a dream. The master is mighty. Once he makes a move, he will wipe out all the ghost caves. Black and white impermanence knelt down on one knee at this moment, looking up at the sky. It's not considered annihilation. Isn't there still a 10,000-year ghost king? That's the highlight. Lin Mu frowned a little while saying that, this Ghost King really can sit still, his subordinates are gone, and he still hasn't shown himself. He Wucheng understood and yelled directly at the cave. Ghost King, get out and die. Get out quickly, don't be a coward. After shouting for a long time, there was no movement inside. Bai Wucheng asked suspiciously, could it be that the Ghost King isn't inside? There is a strong ghost inside, break the door. Lin Mu is impatient. The black and white impermanent ecstasy chains turned into a sledgehammer and smashed towards the stone door of the cave. All of a sudden, the dust was flying, and the stone gate was shattered. Black and white impermanents did not rush in immediately, because they knew that if they were the Wanian Ghost King, they would not be their opponents. Lin Mu's huge dragon body quickly shrunk, so small that he could fly into it. Inside the Cave of Hundred Ghosts cave, there is a large space, and it is a transformed cave. The air was damp, cold, and carried a foul smell. After some searching, black and white impermanents found a secret room in the deepest part. The Ghost King should be inside. My subordinates have been entangled with the ghosts in the Hundred Ghosts cave for several days, but the Ghost King has not been seen. From this point of view, it is hiding in a secret room for cultivation. After all, black and white are impermanent, violently smashing the door of the secret room. But after smashing it for a long time, he didn't smash it open. On the contrary, Lin Mu swiped his tail with a mighty force, and the door of the secret room no longer existed. The eye-catching picture is surprising. The so-called secret room turned out to be a huge pit. No, to be precise, it is more like 1,000-jong abyss, pitch black and bottomless. Bursts of incomparably evil black air filled the air. There is also a roar that looks like a human being and a ghost, coming from inside. Those roars were so shrill and terrifying that people couldn't help but feel their scalps go numb. It seems that under this abyss, there is a way to the underworld. After a while of black and white impermanence, he finally said in surprise, what a cold and evil yin energy, ghosts absorb this yin energy, and their cultivation base will greatly increase. It seems that the Ghost King is cultivating in this deep pit, but if he absorbs too much of this yin qi, he might go mad. As the yin god for a mortal god, black and white impermanence still has some experience. Lin Mu looked at this huge abyss, as if in a daze, he saw a ferocious giant beast devouring you. I'm afraid this deep pit can't be done by a mere Wanian Ghost King. It should be formed naturally. It's no wonder that the Hundred Ghost Cave has risen so fast. The Ghost King was just a little ghost at the beginning, and he was promoted to the Ghost King in a few years. So the secret is here. Black and white impermanence suddenly realized. You guard the deep pit, my master will go in and have a look. Lin Mu is already a dragon, confident in his own strength, and has meritorious deeds to protect his body. All evil does not invade. Decided to go find out. At least get the Ghost King out. Doing things can't be done halfway. Master, be careful, it's very strange here, I'm afraid there may be something unknown. Lin Mu nodded and flew into the pit. It was strange to say that there were bursts of shrill roars coming from the outside, but as soon as I entered, the terrifying sounds disappeared. It was pitch black inside, but it didn't affect Lin Mu. His pupils are like candles, shining wherever he sees. It's just that the sinister atmosphere in the pit, with the stench and rotten smell, made Lin Mu a little unbearable. He simply blocked his sense of smell. The deep pit is like a bottomless pit. I don't know how long it is, but Lin Mu can feel the position of the Ghost King of the Hundred Ghosts cave. And it's not deep. Presumably such a treacherous place, even its 10,000-year ghost cultivation, dare not go deep. Only dare to cultivate in superficial places. After Lin Mu left Wolongtan to suppress ghosts, by coincidence, a guest came to Wolongtan. Just a villain. It was the Pig King sent by the Evergreen King of the Demon Spirit Realm. Originally, the Pig King should have arrived long ago, but this pig was greedy for food and drinks, and fell asleep after drinking too much. This sleep, is a month has passed. Only after waking up did he remember the task assigned by King Chengqing. Jiaolong please. Pig King chuckled, and couldn't help but drool. As a Pig King of the same bloodline, a 10,000-year-old demon, it has eaten all kinds of meat, but it has never eaten dragon meat. Jiaolong is also a dragon, so its meat must be extremely delicious, and its cultivation level will greatly increase. It also heard that the giant dragon is thousands of feet long, which is enough to feed it for half a year. The sturdy, black-haired pig king came to Wolongtan, stood on the stone bridge and yelled, "Where is the dragon? Get out and see the old pig." The sound is rolling like a tide, and the space is rippling. There were huge waves on the surface of the pool. The voice is full of strength. If ordinary people hear it, they will surely bleed to death from their 7 orifices. After the pig king shouted, he waited for a while, but there was no movement, and he slapped the surface of the pool angrily. It was as if a missile had been thrown into the pool surface, and there was a loud bang, and the river was overwhelmed. HMPH. Dare to ignore the old pig and not come out. Pig King frowned, with a fierce expression on his face, as if he wanted to eat people. At this time, it saw a snake shadow appearing in the forest from the corner of its eye, turned its head and glared angrily, "Get out." A giant python of more than 10 feet swayed out tremblingly. The other party looked like a human being, but the powerful and fierce demonic aura on his body was too obvious, giving people a terrifying sense of oppression. It is concluded that it is the level of the Demon King who came down from the depths of Tianxing Mountain, and he cannot be provoked. "My lord, my Snake King is not here, why don't you wait?" "Wait." Zhu Wang raised his thick eyebrows and shouted, "Is it really not there, or is it hiding and not daring to come out?" "Really not there." The Pig King looked at the giant python that was more than 10 feet tall, and suddenly he laughed. "It's okay to let the old pig wait, but the old pig is hungry, so he has to wait while eating. The little one, go down now and prepare something for the adults to eat." The giant python just wanted to run away quickly. The big black-haired man in front of him was too scary, and the visitor was not kind. It has to find a way to notify Master Snake King. But who knows? The other party grinned cruelly. "Don't be so troublesome, the old pig looks delicious to you, and you have a lot of meat on your body." After finishing speaking, the Pig King stretched out his giant palm and grabbed the giant python in the air. The giant python screamed in horror, as if swallowed by a giant beast. Uncontrollably, he flew towards the big black-haired man, and the strangest thing was that his body, which was more than 10 feet tall, gradually became smaller. When it was caught in the hands of the Pig King, it had already become a big snake of 6 or 7 meters, with a thick bull mouth. "Hey, before eating dragon meat, put snake meat on the bottom first. It's a 1,000-year practice, so the taste won't be too bad." "My lord, you can't eat me. My Snake King will definitely not spare you if he knows about it." HMPH. Your king can't protect himself. He will also enter the old pig's stomach. You just entered the old pig's stomach before him. Take a bite. He directly bit off the snake's head, chewed a few mouthfuls and swallowed it, and then began to feast on it. Hiss. In the surrounding forest, a large number of snakes swam out, densely packed. They all wore fierce lights, staring at the Pig King who was sitting on the stone bridge and eating snakes, full of hostility. The Pig King glanced at it, and was even happier. There are so many snakes waiting for him to eat, even a month or so. If the flood dragon never shows up, it will eat up all the snakes in the snake family. Hee, I have a big appetite, so I can pretend. However, at this moment, not far away, a terrifying breath of snake demon boiled up. I saw a giant snake with bright colors, a horn on its head, and a monstrous aura billowing from the forest. Standing up against the sky, it is a full 60 feet. It is the elder of the snake clan, Flood Snake. Lord Snake King is not here, it must stand up. How can anyone bully the generation of the snake clan? Okay. Pig King was stunned for a moment. Seeing the 60-foot giant snake, he immediately felt that the half-eaten snake meat in his hand was not tasty, so he threw it away. Horns on the head. The Pig King's eyes flashed greedily, but soon he found that the horn of the giant snake was not the horn of a dragon, and he said disappointedly, it turned out to be a long insect that failed to escape the flood. It made the old pig happy for nothing. It has been practiced for 3,000 years, and it can be regarded as a tonic. Then eat you. Pig King's momentum soared, his eyes gleamed fiercely, and his body soared on the spot. In an instant, he turned into a barbarian as tall as a mountain, just right, also 60 feet. But from every pore cell in its body, the breath of collapsing mountain peaks burst out. It looks as big as a snake. But whether it is power or aura, it is completely crushed. An uncontrollable sense of fear rose in Zhao Snake's heart. As soon as a master made a move, he would know if there was one. The two are not on the same level at all. This elder failed to escape the dragon, so he deserved to die under the catastrophe. He has already earned his life. Even if he dies now, he can't embarrass the Snake Clan. Flood Snake murmured secretly. But maybe it can't see the rise of the Snake Clan in Tianxing Mountain. A big battle broke out, vigorously. But it was over quickly. There is no suspense. The Pig King finally dragged the Jiaoznike's body to the stone bridge, and ate it with relish. In the deep pit of 100 Ghost Cave, Lin Mu kept diving, gradually getting deeper and deeper, and the surroundings became darker and darker. The feeling of claustrophobia in the deep pit is suffocating. Ordinary people would be out of breath for a moment in such a place. At this time, the sinking Lin Mu paused, and his candle-like pupils looked towards a rocky cliff on the edge. A figure sat cross-legged on the cliff. The figure was very thin, wearing a black robe, and a black arrogance lingered around his body. It seems to be integrated with the surrounding darkness, and it is easy to be ignored if you don't look carefully. 10,000 years Ghost King. Lin Mu's pupils lit up, and he could see that the Ghost King was cultivating, and he was constantly absorbing the sinister aura in the deep pit. The 10 fingers of both hands still have long black nails, which are more terrifying than those who have practiced Juyin White Bone Claw. In addition, the Ghost King was so focused on his cultivation that he didn't even notice the appearance of a flood dragon. Lin Mu is also embarrassed to disturb others. It approached quietly, and then swept away thousands of troops, and slapped the Ghost King's body with its thick and powerful tail. According to Lin Mu's vision, the Ghost King should be instantly wiped out, turning into thick smoke and dissipating. But the Ghost King just screamed, and was photographed into the crevice of the rock on the edge, and branded into it. It looks like it should hurt. Ah! Inside the rock, a muffled sound resounded, and the Ghost King struggled out of the gap, turning his head suddenly. Find the bastard who sneaked up on you. But when he turned around, a blue face without any expression came into Lin Mu's eyes. A pair of empty eyes, emitting bursts of red light, is as ferocious as a zombie in a movie. At this moment, the Ghost King stared at Lin Mu firmly, and he didn't show any shock when he saw a dragon. It's just that the corners of the mouth are gradually cracked, revealing jagged teeth. Black and White Impermanence said before that absorbing the evil spirit in the deep pit is easy to go crazy, but the appearance of the Ghost King is worse than going crazy. It seems that I have lost my mind and turned into a fierce evil thing. Lin Mu whispered secretly. If it weren't for the Ghost King wearing a black robe, Lin Mu would think that the other party is the product of the deep pit. Roar. The Ghost King roared angrily at Lin Mu. His body shook, and a fierce intention erupted, and he came straight to Jiaolong. The black nails on its hands extended to the length of the short sword, and it slashed towards Lin Mu fiercely. Suddenly there was a sharp piercing sound. FK, get out. Lin Mu was also straightforward. One dragon swung its tail, another tail, and pulled the Ghost King back into the crevice of the rock. Then when he opened his mouth, a mouthful of fire burst out and burned. The Ghost King has become an evil thing, this disgusting thing. Lin Mu doesn't want to get entangled with it. But under the burning flames, the Ghost King crawled out of the gap without much damage. Turning his head, the red light in his eyes became more intense, and the hostility surged out of the sky. There were bursts of beast-like roars from his mouth, and he rushed towards Lin Mu again ferociously. Speedy. As the moment approached, he bit the dragon's body. Lin Mu drew back to prevent the Ghost King from touching his body. This thing is too dirty, my body cannot be defiled. Immediately, the candle-like eyes were completely blurred, flashing the color of thunder. A bolt of lightning manifested out of thin air and struck the Ghost King. Zzz. Lightning flashes. Roar. The Ghost King roared, and the thunder and lightning scattered. You're going to go to heaven, right? You're not afraid of fire, and you're not afraid of thunder. Lin Mu complained. After the Ghost King became an evil thing, he didn't realize how amazing his combat power was, but his defense power was truly invincible. It seems to be immune to magic. Lin Mu suddenly had a flash of inspiration, and he was immune to spells, so he used physical attacks. When the Ghost King roared and rushed towards him again, Lin Mu was neither too slow nor too slow. Then he opened his mouth to spit out, and a purple sword light flashed past. Ah! The Ghost King's body froze, and the red light in his eyes dimmed instantly. In the next second, the head hanging on the neck tilted, fell like a ball, and fell into the deep pit. Under the deep pit, the sound of piercing through the air continued to be heard, and the heads kept falling without end. Just as Lin Mu breathed a sigh of relief, the Ghost King's headless body moved again. With both hands straight forward, two black fingertips stabbed straight at it. Depend on. Lin Mu spat, his thoughts turned, and the purple sword light flew back with two swishes. The Ghost King's arm was cut off. This evil thing is still in pieces. Whoosh, whoosh, bursts of sword light shuttled back and forth in the headless body. The Ghost King's body crumbled to pieces. All kinds of stumps and broken arms were scattered towards the bottom of the deep pit. If you have the ability, you reorganize and fly up for me. Lin Mu doesn't believe in evil anymore. The evil spirit sword was suspended in front of his eyes, with a cold light. But there was a wave of merit in the air. When it landed on Lin Mu's head, 50,000 meritorious scales instantly manifested. Shining light. I'll go. 50,000 pieces. This Ghost King's sin value is very high. Lin Mu laughed, and it was not in vain for him to come to this ghostly place. After a while, Lin Mu looked at the bottom of the deep pit, thinking whether he should go down to explore again. What the hell will be inside? The bottom is not deep, it will not really lead to the underworld. Driven by strong curiosity, Lin Mu began to sink again, sinking deeper and deeper. Suddenly, a terrifying big eye popped out from the darkness. It is a huge golden pupil. Like a terrible ancient beast hidden at the bottom of a deep pit, it wakes up and opens its eyes at this moment. The pupils showed an extremely indifferent color, as if all life in his eyes were humble ants. Negligible. Lin Mu was startled for a while, turned around and flew up without saying a word. Full throttle. After getting out of the deep pit, Lin Mu immediately ordered Black and White Wuchang to seal up the cave of the 100 Ghosts Cave. No matter who the owner of that pupil is, Lin Mu only knows that the current self cannot deal with it. Just being looked at by one pupil, he felt that he almost disappeared. This world is far from being as simple as he imagined. Ghosts are just existences that everyone can see. Often what you can't see is the scariest thing. You can't see it because you're not eligible. After the 100 Ghosts Cave was completely sealed, Lin Mu was ready to go home. But looking back suddenly, there was a bad premonition in the dark. This premonition appeared after he flew out of the cave. Okay, something bad happened. Lin Mu immediately used the anti-knowledge future, began to deduce, and began to predict the future. It's a bad hunch, and it means someone is secretly targeting it. Bad for him. After some deduction, Lin Mu's face darkened, and he looked up in the direction of Wolongtan. It was cold and awe-inspiring. What's wrong with the master? Black and White Impermanence inquiry. Lin Mu didn't speak, and his candle-like eyes emerged with murderous intent step by step. After a while, he said, "You don't have to go back with me," and continue to sweep away the surrounding ghost cultivators. Yes. Lin Mu's dragon's body soared through the clouds and fog, and swept towards Wolongtan like an aurora. Nanshan Wolongtan. The Pig King was feasting. His mouth was full of blood, but his expression was extremely happy. Next to it appeared fine wine and fresh fruit. A mouthful of snake meat, a mouthful of fine wine, refreshing. The snake that has practiced Taoism for 3,000 years failed to walk the dragon. But its physical body has been tempered by heavenly tribulation, so it is still different from other snakes. Near the Pig King, a large number of snake spirits and snake demons stared at it. But it doesn't care. Those little worms wanted to rush over to bite it, but they didn't have the courage. Very interesting. Don't worry, when the old pig finishes eating the snake, it will be your turn, but only if your Snake King doesn't come back. If it comes back, the old pig will not look down on your meat. Hiss, roar. The Pig King's words were too arrogant, causing the surrounding snakes to howl and murderous like a tide. I can't wait to swallow the other party alive. But the weak are prey to the strong, and the snake elders who have practiced for 3,000 years are not the enemy of this person. What can they do, these little snake spirits? Pig demon, you won't be arrogant for long. When our Snake King comes back, it's your time of death. Our Snake King is a dragon that has passed through the Jiaolong. In the future, we will fly up and transform into a dragon. Let alone you, all the tribes in Tianxing Mountain will submit to my king's feet in the future. Pig demon, wait for you to die. The Pig King laughed out loud when he heard the words, his pupils burst into a fierce look, and said, I'm afraid you snake kings will never have the day to transform into a dragon. Yes. Is it? This word was passed down coldly from above. Immediately, the entire Wolongtan was covered in darkness, and a terrifying coercion invaded. The Pig King was stunned, and suddenly raised his head, only to see a mighty dragon entrenched in the sky, surrounded by terrifying visions of thunder, flames, and aurora, rolling and surging. Daunting. The surrounding group of snakes were overjoyed immediately, their Snake King came back. One by one excited. When Pig King saw Jiaolong, his aura soared, his eyes gleamed fiercely, he threw away the snake meat and kicked over the wine. Jiaolong, you are finally back, let the old pig wait for a while. The old pig is bored waiting, I ate a few snakes from you, you probably don't mind. The words were calm, but there was a sense of threat. Do not mind. Lin Mu, who was suspended in the sky, looked down, and his voice was extremely cold, and he whispered softly, because I will eat you too, and I will make you pay with blood. The old pig is scared to death, the old pig is afraid. Pig King patted his chest, looking like he was frightening the baby to death. The cheap whizzing but reckless. Lin Mu suppressed the anger in his heart, and asked, who sent you here, please explain clearly first. Pig King said, Master Chengqing King, one of the 4 great deep mountain demon kings in Tianxing Mountain, he sent the old pig down to invite you up, why don't you go? There is no sincerity in the word, go. Don't go. Okay, Pig King grinned. It's great, you refused, then the old pig can be rude to you. Before the words were finished, the Pig King swelled up on the spot, his muscles rolled like a horned dragon, ferocious and ferocious. As its body soared, a golden horn grew from its head, surging with terrifying energy. Especially the black hair on his body, one by one thickened, turned like gold, extremely sharp. In just an instant, the Pig King turned into a humanoid beast hundreds of feet tall. After a faint stop, there will be scenes of landslides and ground cracks, flying sand and rocks. This is not the complete fighting form of Pig King. Because it has not manifested its own ontology. The Pig King of the lineage of the demon spirit world, has practiced for 20,000 years. Inherited part of the blood of the ancient fierce beast. Strong, without any moisture. Ha ha ha, Jiaolong, didn't you just say to eat the old pig, eat one and show the old pig. The Pig King who turned into a humanoid beast became even more domineering. Damn, what the hell, pretending to be you. Lin Mu couldn't suppress the anger in his heart anymore, let out a loud shout, and his murderous aura shot out like a hurricane. Suddenly, there was a horrible breath of death in the world. Immediately, in all directions, earth, fire, wind and thunder surged together. The shocking vision of weeping ghosts and gods burst out. A coercion from the flood dragon pressed down on the Pig King, a ferocious human beast, like an abyss like an ocean. Zhu Wang trembled all over, and suddenly felt that the sky was pressing on him. The internal organs are churning. I was horrified in my heart. This dragon is so powerful. Didn't you just leave? Not allowing the Pig King to think too much, a thick and ferocious tail fell from the sky, smashing down the river and the sea. Along the way, the wind exploded. The power is great, the speed is fast, shocking the world. Zhu Wang hurriedly crossed his arms, and the next second, he felt as if he was hit by a huge mountain. He retreated involuntarily, but when he retreated, a dense forest behind him was bulldozed. After finally stabilizing his figure, the Pig King opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. It was even more shocking. Was he injured? How is this possible? It can be sure that the cultivation base of this flood dragon is definitely not as high as its own. Moreover, Pig King is famous for his physical strength. It was too exaggerated to block one tail and vomit blood. Boom. Unknowingly when, a large black cloud of thunder wandering over the head. A bolt of lightning snaked out, turned into a giant python, and swallowed it as thick as a cow. Before the Pig King could react, he was swallowed up, and he was completely surrounded by the destructive power of thunder and lightning. But this is not the end. I saw the flood dragon's tail sweeping over again, entangled the Pig King's body, carrying a shocking force. The Pig King's ferocious body of hundreds of feet was suspended in midair abruptly. Damn pig, you will regret coming to Wolongtan. Lin Mu's pupils were full of murderous intent, fixedly staring at Pig King, and spit out every single word. Lin Mu was reborn as a snake and came to this ghost world not to be angry. cultivate according to one's duty, and devote oneself to becoming a dragon and transforming into a dragon, without provoking anyone. But there are always people looking for trouble. First, the human race is a master demon slaying master, and then it is for the immortals to worship ghosts and gods. Now Nima's even demons have come to the door. Lin Mu was annoyed, fed up, the hostility in his heart was in vain. Since people are kind and bullied, then all killings should start with this pig. The tail entangled with the pig king kept shrinking along with the hostility in Lin Mu's heart. Scales as hard as steel scratched the pig king, and thousands of iron scales opened and closed. It's like thousands of sharp knives cutting the flesh of the pig king, but what they make is the sound of metal plates colliding. The pig king's body was also as hard as iron. Besides, the cultivation base of 20,000 years is not covered. Haha, Jiaolong, you want to strangle the old pig. You are too naive to think about it. The old pig's shell is powerful and full of energy and blood, so you want to kill the old pig. You're doomed, even the heavenly king and I can't save you. Lin Mu twisted his tail, and swung Pig Dynasty away from the surface of Crouching Dragon Pool. This flick is like a guide projected down. .. Exclamation mark. The water waves are monstrous. Turn the river and stir the sea. Lin Mu's cold voice came out, and the method of Tiangong was cast immediately. Before the water in Wulongtan returned to calm, it boiled violently, forming a large whirlpool. And Pig King is struggling in the center of the whirlpool. Doesn't seem to know much about water. I saw huge waves churning up in the vortex, and then the huge waves turned into fists like steel. He punched the Pig King with a punch. The smashed Pig King screamed again and again, completely powerless to resist in the vortex. Lay lie. Dark clouds were densely covered, and thunder and lightning in the sky struck towards the center of the vortex in an endless stream. Water conducts electricity, making lightning more powerful. The dignified Pig King with 20,000 years of morality is being ravaged by Lin Muhao's inhumanity. It's not that Pig King is too weak, but that he is arrogant and conceited. From the moment it received Lin Mu's tail, it lost its fighting chance. The wind fell. Once you lose the wind, you can only be beaten passively. Because Lin Mu will not give the Pig King a chance to fight back. Throwing Pig King into Wulongtan is enough to see Lin Shu's cleverness. Land 08 creatures, no matter how high your cultivation level is, most of them don't know much about water. In addition, as soon as Lin Mu makes a move, it is the supernatural power of the method of Tiangong. Control a pool of water, like your own hands and feet. Don't say that the Pig King doesn't know water skills. No matter how good the water skills are, he will only get beaten. The mighty Snake King. The surrounding group of snakes were excited, and the Snake King finally vented his anger on behalf of the Snake Clan. At this time, the vortex in the water of Wulongtan, and the screams of the Pig King kept coming. That is really pleasant to hear. The pleasant voice lasted for half an hour. Until Lin Mu rolled his tail, he fished out the huge Pig King. It's just that the Pig King fished out is no longer a mountain-high human figure, but a pure black-haired one-horned wild boar. Very ugly and hideous. The Pig King was thrown onto the stone bridge, with his forehooves facing the sky, dying and spitting water from his mouth. It was extremely miserable, and I don't know how many beatings I suffered. Old. Pig. Not convinced. Pig King spoke weakly, so aggrieved that he was dying. It really should be dissatisfied, because from the beginning to the end, Lin Mu didn't give it a chance to show its strength. It's like a master of martial arts, who was killed by a hidden weapon, and has no use for his force. Lin Mu looked at Zhu Wang coldly, opened his mouth and spat out, and the evil spirit sword flied out with a startled glance. He swished past Pig King. Quote. The Pig King screamed in shock, and his limbs facing the sky were cut off. Hit the ground heavily. Blood spurted out, and the flesh and blood of limbs and legs contained majestic power. Seeing this scene, the surrounding snakes swarmed over, biting frantically. A bite of pork can offset decades of penance. You must know that this is the meat of a 20,000-year-old Pig King. Better than a panacea. Jiaolong, how dare you bully me like this? I am the man of King Changqing, and King Changqing is a demon king of deep mountains with more than 100,000 years of practice, the ruler of Tianxing Mountain. What's the matter? Lin Mu replied coldly. No wonder King Changqing is afraid of you, and sent the old pig down to kill you. You are a snake that just walks away, and you can't see the demon king. If you are a dragon, who will be in your eyes? Is this your last words? Lin Mu's huge head looked down, staring at the pig king and asked. A flash of fear flashed in Zhu Wang's eyes, never thinking that he would die. This damned dragon is for real. A sense of fear of death invaded Pig King's heart. Evergreen King, help. The Pig King didn't care about face, and roared to the sky with all his might. Rolling sound waves swept across the world. I said, even if the heavenly King Lao Su comes today, he will not be able to save you. Lin Mu doesn't want to kill easily, but once he does, he won't stop dying. Pressed down by his huge dragon body, a bloody mouth opened towards the Pig King. Like an endless abyss. At this time, suddenly, a wave of energy rippled in the sky over crouching dragon pool. Immediately condensed into a human form. The human figure gradually became clear, and what manifested was a handsome young man, who swept all directions with powerful eyes. The target was quickly locked on, and it landed on Lin Mu, the dragon. Okay. Lin Mu was slightly startled. Could it be the Evergreen King? The opponent came so fast. Teleportation. No. Lin Mu found a puff of white smoke spreading from the opponent's body, like a dream. Gives a false feeling. The majestic demon king of the deep mountains does not feel oppressed at all. The method of projection. Lin Mu had an insight into the opportunity and immediately knew it. Pig King's eyes lit up, and he shouted, Lord Changqing King, it's great that you're here, kill this damned dragon. Changqing Wang glanced at the embarrassed Pig King in disappointment, and gave orders to Lin Mu, Zhaolong, let the Pig King go. The light words are beyond doubt and cannot be rejected. However, in response to this sentence, it was a tumultuous tale that swept past. When it was patted on Evergreen King, it was gone in an instant. Damn, just project the avatar, pretending to be you. Whom to order? The Pig King's eyeballs are about to fall out of shock. Is his rescuer like this? That is Master Evergreen, one of the 4 rulers of Tianxing Mountain. Does the dragon in front of him understand the gold content of the other party? How dare he? Pig King, use your body to help me turn into a river. Lin Mu didn't want to make any changes, so he quickly bit the Pig King and swallowed it raw in one bite. The moment it was swallowed, the Pig King's terrified voice came out, no. The way of devouring, Kai. The moment Lin Mu swallowed the Pig King, Lin Mu cast the earth evil magic. Devour, consume, absorb. The 20,000-year-old Pig King will not disappoint Lin Mu. Ridiculous to say. Looking back suddenly, Lin Mu seemed to have a formidable enemy. Okay. If the world can't tolerate his snake body, Lin Mu has no choice but to fly away and transform the dragon. Bamboo Forest Castle in the Demon World. King Changqing on the throne of the hall suddenly opened his eyes, and his anger level soared. Okay, Zhaolong, you have the guts. King Changqing gritted his teeth, and flames billowed out of his body, with a demonic aura soaring to the sky. The space of the entire hall is shaking, just like the glass is about to crack. Originally, Changqing Wang heard Zhu Wang's cry for help in the dark, and immediately projected his clone over there. Thinking of his own identity, the other party will be more or less afraid. After all, in Tianxing Mountain, no one dared to disobey the demon king of the deep mountain. But who would have thought that the avatar manifested only after he said a word, and the other party shot at his avatar? Resolute and ruthless. Call Changqing Wang back directly. King Changqing is now burning with anger, feeling very aggrieved. Projected a loneliness. It seems that just after taking off the trousers and doing nothing, they were forcibly sent back. Uncomfortable. Bastard. This king's anger, you are a mere dragon, how can you bear it? Wang Changqing looked towards the sky outside the hall with shining eyes, and the murderous aura on his body became more and more intense. At this time, a huge black turtle came out from the ground of the main hall, and made an old voice, My lord, why do you have to deal with a dragon? As one of the rulers of the Tianxing Mountain monster clan, you should have the ability to tolerate and accept everything. Heart, broad chest, star of the world. The dragon of the snake family, the old turtle has calculated that its fate is extraordinary, its fortune is amazing, and it has successfully escaped the dragon. It is already unstoppable, and it is destined to become a powerful existence like the Lord. If the great king lends a helping hand to the other party at this stage of growth, even if the other party ascends to become a dragon, he will still be an ally of the king, not an enemy. HMPH. King Chengqing snorted coldly when he heard the words, and fell silent. His fear of the snake clan did not originate from the dragon in front of him. Once upon a time, when Evergreen King was still a purple-green bamboo, there appeared a real dragon in Tianqing Mountain that successfully ascended to the heavenly gate. The dragon's majesty and domineering power swept across all directions, making everything surrounded by stealth. Can't afford to resist at all. At that time, King Chengqing was intimidated by the dragon. So far, there are shadows. Now, he has ascended to the throne and became the ruler of Tianqing Mountain, and he is used to being superior. Dominate all races. Therefore, King Chengqing will never allow a real dragon to appear in Tianqing Mountain again. Xuangui is right, this king should be tolerant. Chengqing Wang spoke perfunctorily, but the second half of the sentence said in his heart, the premise is that the flood dragon is just a flood dragon, but don't even think about turning into a real dragon. Otherwise, suddenly boom. The sky outside the castle thundered like a tide, as if the god of thunder was furious. Whoosh. King Chengqing flashed to the outside of the hall, raised his head, his face darkened. Large swaths of robbery clouds gathered in the sky, covering the sky and blocking out the sun. This day, this place, it will be dark all of a sudden. Another catastrophe. The Lord of Heaven has come to the heavenly tribulation again, but what kind of monster will cross the catastrophe this time? As if feeling something, King Chengqing had a bad premonition in his heart. Could it be that flood dragon is about to transform into a dragon? Impossible. Chengqing Wang himself vetoed himself. The other party succeeded in taking the flood. How long will it take? Full budget, several months. What can I do for a few months? At most sleep and say hello. Under normal circumstances, if a dragon wants to transform into a real dragon, it will take at least 1,000 years of preparation. Not only does it need enough cultivation base and deeds to support it, but it also needs amazing opportunities and good luck. If it were that simple to transform a dragon, there would be dragons everywhere in Tianqing Mountain. What's more, the snake in Wulongtan will be robbed in 72 days. If you transform into a dragon, you can imagine the difficulty factor of the catastrophe that will come. Just when Chengqing Wang was thinking wildly, the calamity cloud condensed in the sky was already extremely dark and dense, covering the entire sky. Straight to crush the whole earth. Immediately afterwards, a coercive coercion of heaven and earth invaded terrifyingly from the top of the sky. The feeling of suffocation affects all living beings. The most astonishing thing is that in the thick robbery clouds, thousands of golden lights shot out. People who are stabbed cannot open their eyes. When the golden light dissipated, a door appeared in the sky. This door looks like it is made up of precious jade. Thousands of golden lights roll red clouds, resplendent and majestic. Do not look directly at 963. King Chengqing saw this door appearing. He stood in a daze, and said in surprise, "Heavenly Gate." As the old saying goes, the big python lives in the mountains, enters the river to become a jiao, climbs to the gate of heaven and transforms into a dragon. In the headquarters of the Monster Slayer Division, Wei Shuzun, who ranks among the three men, is lying comfortably on a soft couch, enjoying a massage service from a magnificent beauty. The beauty of a beauty is one that people will never forget at a glance, especially with a pure white snowy tail growing behind her. It's the same as a mopping dress. The First Lord seems to have a milder temper recently. The beauty provided service and found a topic for chatting. Wei Shuzun closed his eyes and said lightly, "How can you see that?" The Snake King in the mountain who walked the dragon had already attacked the Demon Slayer with lightning before, and almost destroyed the building of the Demon Slayer. Such a bold and reckless act, but you, the First Lord, have not moved for a long time. This is not like you in the past. The Snake King became a flood dragon, possessed the ability to fly into the sky, and also controlled a variety of supernatural powers and spells, and hid in Tianqing Mountain. It's not because the deity is gentle, but the dragon is not easy to catch. He he he. The beauty laughed loudly, her delicate body trembling with laughter. "Sir, don't be joking. If you really want to catch, are there any monsters in the world that you can't catch?" The slave family was in Qingzhou, 100,000 miles away, and you were captured by the slave family, not to mention the Tianqing Mountain, which is far away from the sky and close to our eyes. A hint of cunning flashed in the beauty's eyes, and she continued, "My lord, you see how good this is. I will go to Tianxing Mountain and capture that dragon for you. When the time comes, you will let my family go, okay? This business is a pure loss. Don't do it," Wei Shuzun flatly refused. How can a dragon that will transform into a dragon sooner or later be exchanged for a weak fox in my slave's house? Wei Shuzun turned slightly and glanced at him. But you are a weak fox with 6 fox tails, and you have the potential to become a 9-tailed sky fox in the future. A mere flood dragon, how can it compare with you? When that flood dragon turns into a real dragon, you are negotiating this deal with this deity. The fox beauty was desperate when she heard the words, and shouted angrily, "How long will I have to wait? You know, the Snake King just left." Boom. There was a riot in the sky. The dignitaries and dignitaries in the capital were all taken aback. Before they could raise their heads, it was getting dark. The ancient Buddhist bell on the 33rd floor of Monster Slayer rang out, with Sanskrit sounds. "Warn the world." Immediately, a large number of guards wearing flying fish uniforms appeared on the floor below, looking towards the sky. After looking at it, they all gasped and couldn't believe it. Rubbing his eyes and looking again, he couldn't help but take 3 steps back. After a while, reporting, the heavenly gate emerged from the sky, surrounded by mighty heavenly power, and it is suspected that there is a flood dragon trying to transform into a real dragon. Wei Shuzun sat up on the soft couch in the room, his deep eyes flickered, and he looked at the fox beauty. "Yes, it will be the dragon we talked about just now." The beautiful fox was in a daze, wanting to shake her head and then nod. Her whole body was in a mess. For Shanxi Chungwang Temple, the city god brought together the 4 major judges, the 24 chief judges, and gods from all walks of life gathered together. They all looked up at the heavenly gate where the golden light shines. Tianmen is surrounded by fairy mist, which gives people an illusory feeling. The mighty power radiating out made these ghosts Shendu couldn't help but want to bow their heads in worship. There are only 2 situations in which the gate of heaven appears in the sky. The common one is that the snake walks away from the dragon, and then climbs to the gate of heaven to transform into a dragon. The other is that the immortal cultivator breaks through the first-grade realm of refining the gods, goes through the tribulation, and enters through the gate of heaven. When it reappears from Tianmen, it will be a land god. From then on, surpassing human demons and ghosts, he can ascend to the 9th heaven and enter the other world. But immortal cultivators have broken the first rank, which has never appeared since the Ming dynasty ruled. Then there is only the former in the Tianmen of the sky, the snake transforms into a dragon. Could it be that Zhao City God's face was gloomy, and he faintly became nervous? If so, it's terrible. Just a few months after leaving Zhao, the heavenly tribulation, the gate of heaven, was opened. It is definitely not an exaggeration to say that he is a world-shocking evildoer. Has the Ming dynasty been peaceful for a long time? How could such evildoers appear? At this moment, countless eyes looked up to the dazzling heavenly gate in the sky. Then, in front of Tianmen, layers of ladders manifested, layer upon layer, with countless steps. It has been extending from the sky to the minister of the sky in Tianxing Mountain. No matter whether it is a cultivator who climbs the gate of heaven to become a land god, or a snake who transforms into a dragon, he must walk up the ladder step by step. It's not so much a ladder, it's about helping you climb to the sky. It would be better to say that he has entered the gate of hell. Go directly to Nahi Bridge. Because when you stand on the ladder, you will start to cross the catastrophe. You will bear the wrath of God. From midair to the gate of the sky, this journey can be described as a narrow escape. To go through hardships and be devastated. If 10,000 snakes of the snake tribe successfully escape the dragon, then these 10,000 snakes will ascend to the gate of heaven to pass the catastrophe. I'm afraid not even one will survive. There was only one real dragon in this world in the historical records of the Ming dynasty. As for which one can be successful, it is said that it was only successful because of the luck of the Ming dynasty. But this is all legend. Whether it is true or not, I am afraid that only Emperor Zan of the Ming dynasty knows now. The one who really ascends to the heaven's gate seems to be about to appear. Countless people murmured in their hearts. The sky ladder has appeared, and those who cross the catastrophe must stand on it. This is inevitable. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, a winding and gorgeous dragon in Tianxing Mountain appeared in front of the eyes of the world. This flood dragon seems to be able to shine brightly, and the scales on the top and bottom of the whole body are shining with colorful light. It's like every scale is inlaid and carved with high-quality jade. Especially the dragon horns on the top of Jiaolong's head are even more eye-catching. It seems to have been blessed by the divine light. It is dazzling, just take a look. It's as if your eyes have been opened. Oh my god, it's really the new Snake King of the Snake Clan who wants to ascend to heaven and transform into a dragon. Those who knew the inside story screamed in horror. Disbelief was written all over his face. But the reality is right in front of you. I can't stand your disbelief. Interested people began to count up. The other party has gone from becoming a new Snake King, to being a dragon, and now ascending to heaven and transforming into a dragon. It seems that it is not even a year. No, to be precise, it took about half a year. In just half a year, the opponent turned into a dragon. This kind of speed is absolutely unprecedented. This record is unlikely to be broken. Too exaggerated. It's okay if you don't count, but once you count, goosebumps all over your body and numbness in your scalp. When the dragon landed on the sky ladder, the entire sky ladder made of precious jade was shining brightly, and the brilliance flowed brightly. The heavenly gate connecting the sky and the sky from bottom to top. It was as if Jiaolong had been hit by a spotlight. Became the only protagonist in the world. Human monster god. I don't know how many strong people's eyes are locked on that dragon. The attention is instantly full. At this time, even if the emperor of Ming Dynasty came in person, he would not be able to take away the demeanor of that dragon. Now, the masters of the demon-slaying division and the ghosts and gods of the immortal division are confused in the wind. If they had known this, they would have worked hard to arrest Jiaolong and bring him to justice. But the ghost knows that the other party will turn into a dragon so quickly. Don't give people a chance to react. And the Changqing King in the bamboo forest castle in the demon spirit realm is even more regretful. Pig King asked for help. He shouldn't be projecting his clone, he should rush over with his real body. Kill that dragon directly in Wolongtan. It's all right now, the other party is about to climb the gate of heaven. King Changqing recalled his psychological darkness when he was shrouded in a real dragon when he was weak. No, it's looking for death. It's purely looking for death. Tianmen is so easy to climb. This king will open his eyes wide and watch you die under the catastrophe of heaven. The great people have their own concerns, but for the people in the suburbs, it's a different scene. The heavenly gate and the heavenly ladder appeared in the sky. This is a miracle. I thought it was the immortals from the 9 heavens who came down to earth. They all knelt down to worship, shouting in the mouth, "Ask the gods to bless, ask the gods to bless." But when the dragon landed on the ladder, these people exclaimed again, "The Dragon King has appeared, Lord Dragon King bless me this year." All kinds of wishes emerge and endlessly. People without much culture will never give up any chance to make a wish. Even if you see a shooting star passing by at night, you should take the opportunity to make a wish. Make as many wishes as possible, in case one of them comes true. The angle of view is drawn to the sky ladder made by Baoyu. It turns out that this is the so-called Dengtianmen, high-end and high-end atmosphere. Lin Mu devoured the Pig King, absorbed the energy, and instantly increased his power by 10,000 years. Strength also increases geometrically. Lin Mu, who has 25,000 years of Taoism, directly opened the Long Tian Jia. Standing on the ladder now, he feels a bit like a dream. He knew that at this moment, there might be countless pairs of eyes staring at him. I know even more that countless people expect him to die under the catastrophe. Wait for labor and capital to blind your dog eyes and smash your 3 views. Ever since the Pig King came to Wolongtan, Lin Mu has been full of hostility. His temperament couldn't help becoming a little perverse. He figured it out, only the weak would be approached by others. The strong never will, so he wants to rise in this world in the most powerful way. Afterwards, Lin Mu took a deep breath, ready to start crossing the tribulation. Don't look at the heavenly ladder of precious jade, the beauty is like a dream, and the attention will be full when you stand on it. But actually stand on the ladder. You will instantly feel the terrific and incomparable glory of the heavenly master. You are climbing up and walking against the sky under the watchful eyes of the master of heaven. This is virtually a huge pressure. Another point is that the whole ladder is not as simple as it looks. once you stand on it, there is still a majestic gravity pressing on you. Gravity is like countless mountains. Make your life difficult. It's far from easy to walk away from Zhaohualong. Come on, Lin Mu, the snake, will definitely enter through the gate of heaven. Whispering to himself, Lin Mu's pupils burst into two brilliant divine lights, which were unbelievably majestic. The mana in the body is running, and the gravity is much lighter. His dragon body moved and moved forward in a meandering manner. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, until Lin Mu walks 50 steps, the world changes color in the next second. The thick black robbery cloud covering the sky rioted. There was only a loud bang. It heralds the official beginning of Lin Mu's catastrophe to ascend to the heavenly gate. A blue thunderbolt with the thickness of a bowl meanders out from the thick black cloud of robbery. Lei Wei made a decisive move, pierced the Tongtian ground, and slashed down towards Zhaolong. In an instant, Lin Mu was surrounded by blue lightning, and his huge body flashed with lightning. Thunderbolt lightning. I am in control of the thunder itself, and I am immune to thunder and lightning. The power of this tribulation thunder is average. Lin Mu murmured secretly. In the next second, endless seawater appeared, directly submerging the huge trees. The seawater also forms a square water wall, squeezing it from all directions. It seemed that he wanted to crush the dragon like Lin Mu into a meat paste. This is not over. There are a large number of electric snakes in the sea water, and the power of each electric snake is not inferior to the power of ordinary thunder. The electric snakes hissed and swarmed to bite Lin Mu's body. Bite down with one bite, and there will be an electric sizzle. Grass, it's just tribulation thunder, and it also comes with magic changes. Forget about the water attribute, what the hell is the electric snake? Lin Mu wanted to take back what he said just now. The power of this tribulation thunder is only now truly revealed. Demon Slayer headquarters. Wei Shuzun had someone move a sandalwood chair and sat on the open space. After being massaged by the beautiful fox behind him, he began to watch the catastrophe happily. My lord, why didn't Jianhua be born, and directly smashed Jilei, and this thunder is so terrifying, it actually has the art of transformation. 1,000 households spoke in doubt. Many people have seen the catastrophe, but this kind of catastrophe is unheard of. Wei Shuzun said lightly, climbing to the gate of heaven is a catastrophe. It is naturally different. What the Lord of Heaven sent down is the catastrophe of yin and yang, 5 elements, thunder, and 5 changes of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. The thunderbolt just now, Shui Yu. Climbing the ladder, Nizhao has to face the baptism of these 5 kinds of thunderstorms. There is one kind that can't be resisted, that is, ashes will be wiped out, and there will be no bones left. Relatively speaking, this thunderstorm is the most powerful. Following Wei Shuzun's explanation, a large number of guards gathered. After listening to them one by one, I feel that my knowledge has increased. There is a saying, the way of heaven is merciless, and the course of heaven is permanence. It does not survive for Yao, nor perish for Jia. Let's just watch, there will be a lot of trouble. The heavenly tribulation of ascending the gate of heaven, if it is said to be opened, it will be opened, should it be a play. Act recklessly. On the ladder, Lin Mu figured out what was going on with the thunderstorm. It seemed that his body was being attacked. Actually absorbing. The way of devouring has been performed, absorbing part of the component attributes of the water thunder calamity. Based on the fact that the host has mastered the thunder and lightning, he comprehended the catastrophe of water and thunder. The system sounds. Lin Mu was radiant, and immediately shouted, break me. As soon as the broken characters came out, a terrifying power surged out from Zhao's body. Bang! There was a loud noise, turbulent waves, and splashes of water on the ladder. Any visions and attacks brought about by the water tribulation and thunder disappeared like smoke in an instant. I have mastered another attack method. Lin Mu wanted to try it at first, but he didn't expect it to be successful. In this world of demons and ghosts, controlling thunder and lightning is equivalent to controlling the strongest means of killing. Especially in the face of ghosts, there is no disadvantage. Now that he understands the thunder disaster, it can be regarded as an additional attack move. From this moment on, Lin Mu also relaxed Dujia's mentality a lot. After that, he continued to advance like a normal person, swimming towards the top of the ladder step by step. Once the divine calamity starts, it will be endless. One after another, the blue tribulation thunders flashed out from the black robbery clouds in the sky, striking at the Lin Mu. Lin Mu glanced sideways. The thick and ferocious tail, Wang Nuohao, tilted up, and struck towards the falling water disaster and lightning. .. Exclamation mark. The water tribulation thunder exploded, and the water splashed in all directions in an instant, turning into a torrential rain and venting down. It's just rain with an electric current. Lin Mu began to move forward quickly. Whenever a tribulation thunder fell, he would just sweep away with his tail. It broke before it fell. The sound of explosions in the sky was endless, and the scene of a large amount of rain pouring down made the audience on the ground feel at a loss. Can it still be like this? Isn't this flood dragon a bit crazy for crossing the robbery? It should be trembling, sincere and fearful, and cautious. Lord, don't you want to lose face? For Lin Mu, he has realized the disaster of water and thunder, and he has completely ignored it. But after 200 steps, a huge cyan lightning bolt struck down from the sky. On the contrary, Lin Mu's eyes lit up, and he didn't plan to use violence to break it. Resist this blue lightning with a strong physical body. But after being struck by the thunder, Lin Mu's body suddenly stiffened, motionless like a wooden sculpture. Okay. The power of this thunder. Lin Mu was startled. Sleepy attribute. Immediately, countless blue wooden vines grew out of his body. These blue wooden vines are as strong as a giant python, wrapping around Lin Mu's huge body tightly. In a blink of an eye, he was wrapped into a ball like a zongzi. Airtight. The most frightening thing is that these wooden vines are so tough that even a magic weapon is difficult to cut them off. This is the terrible thing about Mu Jile. The so-called yin and yang and 5 elements, the 5 elemental attributes, form the 5 tribulation thunders. Right now, the catastrophe descended on the 5-element wooden thunder, entwining the flood dragon. Those who watched the catastrophe on the ground were all secretly tongue-tied. How strong are those vines, that they can trap a flood dragon? The most frightening thing is that after each rattan strip is tightly wound, electric current flickers and it is destroyed. It looks as harsh as a flash. One by one looked terrified and trembled for no reason. Under this kind of catastrophe, no wonder there are no real dragons in the world. Know that this is just the beginning. Wood tribulation thunder. The person who is recruited will be tightly bound by vines and wood, and will be attacked by electric current until he dies. Lin Mu personally experienced, Tien concluded. If you can't break through the vines and wood, you will die. The way of devouring, absorbing wood attributes. Soon after, the host absorbs the wood attribute and comprehends the wood thunder calamity. Lin Mu grinned. This dragon is not here to cross the catastrophe, but to learn martial arts moves. When he fully comprehends the yin and yang 5 elements calamity thunder, then this calamity will not be a threat to him. Afterwards, the scales covering Lin Mu's body spun extremely sharply. Cut off the rattan wood wrapped around the body. Immediately afterwards, the huge body shook. All the attacks of Mu Jile dissipated in an instant. After restoring the natural trees, move forward immediately, trying to get to the position of Tianmen as soon as possible. Now there are 5 kinds of tribulation thunders with different element attributes, 2 of which have been broken, and the pressure is not great. The people watching the catastrophe on the ground below were shocked. Earlier, I saw that the dragon was wrapped into rice dumplings and could not move. Why, in the blink of an eye, he was on board again. From the looks of it, it seemed that he hadn't been hurt in any way. The 523 scales of the dragon's body are still shining brightly. Well, there are still 2 brushes for daring to open the heavenly gate. Not everyone is looking at the catastrophe with the mentality of adding insult to injury. There are also many neutral ones. After all, to be able to watch the doom of a dragon ascending to the gate of heaven can be regarded as a lifetime of comfort. It's really a rare encounter in 1,000 years. On the ladder, Lin Mu kept moving forward, thunderstorms kept falling from the sky, and the thunderstorms did not leave the scene. Team up with Mu Jile and Thunderbolt. If you don't chop the robber to death, you won't give up. It's just that Lin Mu has already comprehended these 2 kinds of tribulation thunders, and his thick and ferocious tail is like swatting a fly. Scattered the thunderstorms one after another. That is called a calm, relaxed and casual. If Lin Mu is not the body of a dragon, but a person, it is probably the time to climb forward. Just put your hands in your pockets and don't know what bucket it is. However, after 500 steps, the third type of 5-element tribulation thunder makes its grand debut. A crimson tribulation thunder snaked out of the sky. The thunder pillar carried a crimson flame and slashed down fiercely with an incomparably hot temperature. Lin Mu narrowed his candle-like pupils, and murmured, "This should be a fire robbery." Fire tribulation thunder can be said to be the most lethal type of assisting thunder among the attributes of yin-yang and 5 elements. Boom. But just as the fire and thunder calamity fell, the water mine and the wooden thunder were still fighting behind him. 3 thunderbolts hit Lin Mu's dragon body almost at the same time. It's insane. Maybe it's because the Lord Tien thinks that this dragon's crossing is a bit easy, but a bit difficult. Young man, when it comes to crossing the catastrophe, please correct the attitude of the Lord. This scene made the melon-eating crowd watching the catastrophe below exclaim in alarm. The tribulation thunders of 3 different attributes strike the dragon together. That's really fast for relatives and enemies. The masters of demon slaying applauded, and the ghosts and gods nodded and smiled. Just ask Jiaolong if you will die or not. The most terrifying thing about the tribulation thunder of the 5 elements is that the 5 elements have the principle of mutual growth, although the tribulation thunder of the blue water and wood has become a supporting role. But the fire and lightning struck Lin Mu, and the flames billowed and burned, forming a raging fire. Under the raging fire, there is also a thunder and lightning attack. When the wood tribulation thunder falls, the vines and wood will grow, and the wood will make a fire, and the fire will be more intense. The power of the 2 tribulation thunders intertwined with each other, and the raging fire became bigger and bigger. Originally, the blue water tribulation thunder fell, breeding sea water, which can extinguish the fire. However, it is incredible that fire and water are compatible. At this time, on the steps of the ladder, the scene is incomparably spectacular. With Jiaolong as the center, he was surrounded by a vast ocean, and the sea water in the ocean merged with the raging fire, completely turning into a terrifying sea of AA flames. There is a crimson flame in the sea water, which looks like billowing magma. The people who eat melons are dumbfounded. Is this a screen that everyone can watch for free? The catastrophe of ascending to the Tianmen is really thoughtful and terrifying. God is thinking of the law to kill the robbers. In the sea of AA fire. Fortunately, I have mastered enough spells, and this flame is also immune to it. After comprehending fire tribulation thunder, it can be cracked, it's easy. The simple word Lin Mu should be heard by outsiders. I am afraid that the eyeballs will fall out of shock. Because many people speculated that the dragon might not be able to resist this disaster. The 3 elemental attributes are thunderbolts, intertwined with each other, and the power is not as simple as 1 + 1 + 1. Just looking at it, the people who eat melons feel that they are attacked by a fear of death. However, there was a roar from the ladder, and the vision of the terrifying sea of AA flames disappeared. Jiaolong began to climb forward again shiningly, the thrilling scene before. It seems to be a fake picture. After 1,000 steps, 10 golden thunderbolts descended from the sky. As soon as the thunder and lightning came out, the golden light was bright and dazzling. Possesses the terrifying power of heaven. Hitting Jiaolong's body, the golden thunder light instantly enveloped his whole body. Unbelievably manifested various lethal weapons such as swords, guns and axes. Kacha kacha kacha. AIBD. All kinds of weapons slashed at Jiaolong's body frantically. This is the golden tribulation thunder. However, the flood dragon was still the same flood dragon, and I don't know what method it used. Jin Jilei broke through in the end. It's moving forward again. The sky ladder is far away, and the steps do not know how many steps. Where the heavenly gate of the sky stands with thousands of golden lights. But it keeps you out of reach. After Lin Mu's 3,000 steps, the 5th earth tribulation thunder appeared. With the heavy breath of the earth, he slashed down towards the dragon in a hurry. Immediately, the huge body of Jiaolong pressed against a towering mountain. This mountain is also very realistic, just like a ghostly axe. The green layers overlap, like the undulating waves of the sea, turbulent, majestic and magnificent. It was difficult to lift the huge head of the crushed dragon. In addition, the previous 4 kinds of tribulation thunder followed closely behind, turning into seawater, wood vines, flames, weapons, and taking turns to kill the dragon. All 5 kinds of tribulation thunders are now on the stage, and the picture is terrifying. The people who watched were frightened and frightened. Today, the catastrophe of ascending the heaven gate is like a serial drama, which is absolutely wonderful. But as for how many episodes can be broadcast, can it be finished? It all depends on the fortune of the robber. Demon Slayer headquarters. Wei Shuzun swallowed a fresh grape handed over by the Fox Beauty, squinted his eyes, and looked at the sky. Let's eat. This dragon climbed the heavenly gate to cross the catastrophe, which greatly increased people's appetite. The surrounding guards and officials also watched the robbery with relish. Many people are still eating melon seeds. The state of their hearts at this time is very complicated, since Jiaolong hastened to die under the sky. I was also afraid that Jiaolong would die too soon, and there would be no good show to watch. After all, it is not easy to watch such a catastrophe. Everyone wants to see the end. Let's see what calamity will come down from the sky. My lord, has the dragon resisted the fifth earth tribulation thunder, even if it has survived the yin-yang five-element thunder? Some people couldn't help being curious and wanted to spoil the first one. In the sky and the earth, there is nothing that the First Lord in front of him does not know. Wei Shuzun glanced at the person who asked the question, with a sneer on the corner of his mouth. What do you think of yin-yang and five elements tribulation thunder, a child's toy, so simple? It's easy. Countless gasps sounded. The Jiaolong on the ladder is now carrying a towering mountain, unable to move an inch. It also has to bear the frantic attacks of the first four kinds of tribulation thunders. It made people's scalp numb and horrified. That is to say, the dragon's whole body is covered with extremely hard scales, and its physical body is strong, so that it can live until now. I'm afraid it's a random monster slaying master, even if it's a fourth rank, no, even a third rank. It was already cold. Why, in the eyes of Wei Shuzun, the yin-yang five-element tribulation thunder has not exerted its strength yet. Yin-yang, five elements, tribulation thunder, gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, will appear on the stage as the climber climbs, but this time, the appearance is just to show off and introduce himself. After all, the Lord of Heaven also pays attention to a person who first behaves first and then fights. Question mark, question mark, question mark. When the people around listened, question marks were capitalized one after another. Do you call this a courtesy before a soldier? God is really so humane. Wei Shuzun rolled his eyes and threw it out, hating that iron cannot be made into steel. All of them are high-level executives of the Demon Slayer division, and they all have a vicious reputation. Why is it like a soiled turtle, making a fuss and never seeing the world? After the Tianti Jiaolong broke through the mountain against his body, Wei Shuzun continued, now is the time for the yin and yang and five elements to rob the thunder, and the time to really show its power, the good show has just begun. A simple sentence can shake people's hearts. And the same sentence was also spit out from the mouth of Gong Shanxi City God. All the ghosts and gods were also dumbfounded. Zhongli, one of the four judges, was wearing a purple robe, and a hint of worry flashed in his wide-eyed eyes. It seems that it is still the third-rank righteous god of Gongxianxi, aloof. But in fact, Zhongli has become the ghost servant of Jiaolong, the sky ladder robber. When the dragon is born, it will live, and when the dragon dies, it will also be wiped out with ashes. Ha ha ha. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth, five kinds of tribulation and thunder, sorry, I have mastered them all. After Lin Mu broke through the earth tribulation thunder, he was full of vigor, and his pupils looked towards the sky gate. The eyes are full of tenacity. After he enters through that heavenly gate, he can be completely reborn and transformed into a real dragon. At that time, it will completely gain a foothold in this world. But Lin Mu knows that becoming a dragon is not the end. Just a strong start. Now he has mastered yin-yang and five elements tribulation thunder, and we will see who doesn't like it in the future. Just reward him for going through a catastrophe. The only thing that is a pity is the thunder and lightning that fell from the catastrophe. It contains Tianwei, and it is called Tianlei when it is done. The majestic power of the sky strikes directly at the soul, possessing an inviolable power. There is no such medicine. It's all just fan lei. At this time, Lin Mu noticed that his dragon body became more solid and powerful. How can it be described as invulnerable? It is the result of Tianlei quenching. There is a kind of body protection with scales of merit and virtue, which prevents all dharmas from invading, and prevents all evil from touching. Suddenly, Boom! A violent gust of wind blew up between the sky and the earth, and the thunder in the sky rang endlessly. The black robbery cloud did not dissipate even half of it. Instead, it looks like a bomb is about to explode, thick and swollen. Why hasn't the yin-yang and five elements tribulation and thunder ended yet? Didn't I fight it all and resolve it? Lin Mu was surprised. Shouldn't he be next? Looking at the posture of the sky, it means to enlarge the move. Lin Mu's pupils contracted, and he became slightly vigilant. Crossing the catastrophe is not a child's play, you must work hard. Rumble. There was another loud sound, above the sky, within the black robbery cloud. There was a terrifying sound. Like a monster waking from its slumber. Immediately, a thunderbolt as thick as a python drilled out. The whole world suddenly changed color. At the same time, the coercion of heaven and earth became extremely terrifying. It seems to have increased 10 times at once. Even Lin Mu, a dragon, can't get close. This thunder. Lin Mu narrowed his eyes and became serious. What came out of the black calamity cloud was no longer a single thunderbolt, but a thunderbolt as thick as Optimus Prime. Thick is really thick. Just like it has evolved. What shocked Lin Mu the most was that this thunder pillar was a mixture of 3 colors. Contains blue, red, 3 colors. Commonly known as 3-color robbery thunder. Mixing the attributes of Mizuki and Huo, 3 kinds of robbery thunders, with the coercion of heaven and earth, the power is doubled. It can be described as devastating. As soon as the 3-color tribulation thunder came out, the sky changed dramatically, and Lin Mu only knew it at this moment. The tribulation thunder before was just to warm up the scene. Lord Tien is only now getting serious with his own dragon. Oh my god, what kind of thunder is this? Just looking at it, I feel like my eyes are going to go blind. The coercion of heaven and earth is too terrifying. It has nothing to do with me, but I feel that I have been seriously injured. Could it be that me and other mortals are not even qualified to watch the catastrophe? In the capital, countless horrified voices resounded. That's right, with the appearance of the 3-color tribulation thunder, ordinary people are no longer qualified to watch it. Only masters with a certain strength cannot be affected. Let alone the people in the suburbs, they can only hide under the eaves of their own homes. In order to survive, the flood dragon on the ladder has already been swallowed by the 3-color tribulation thunder, and the body of the behemoth is completely shrouded in the destructive tribulation thunder. The 3-color robbery thunder will destroy the foundation of this flood dragon, destroy its morality, and destroy its soul. Make it disappear. How do labor and capital feel that when you come to this world, you will either be struck by lightning or be struck by lightning? Inside the 3-color robbery thunder, Lin Mu's voice sounded. His whole body's scale defenses are fully opened, and the dragon horns on the top of his head emit a bright light, and a flood of dragon power pervades. Resist it. Damn, break it for me. With a roar from the sky, the 3-color tribulation thunder covering the ladder exploded instantly, and the 3 elemental attributes of Mizuki and Huo collapsed. A mighty dragon reappeared on the ladder and appeared in the eyes of the world. However, no one has yet to catch their breath. Boom. Accompanied by a thunderous sound, the black robbery cloud shrouded in the sky once again sent out a huge thunderbolt. This time it contains 4 elemental color attributes. 4-color tribulation thunder. Water, wood, fire, metal. At the same time, Tianwei is boundless and boundless, brilliant and vast, which can reverse the 6 reincarnations. No way. Zhaolong just broke through the 3-color tribulation thunder, and in a blink of an eye it was a 4-color tribulation thunder. It's too scary to let people live. The melon eaters in Sifengtian were dumbfounded. What I saw was that I was frightened and fell down and ups and downs. Lin Mu couldn't help feeling a wave of anger, watching the 4-color robbery devouring towards him. You want to kill me? I'm afraid it's not enough. Candle-like pupils are full of fighting spirit. The so-called half-90 people who travel 100 miles. Lin Mu is a dragon who has reached the gate of heaven and must transform into a dragon. Absolutely will not fall short. No matter how cruel the master's methods are, he should not even think about defeating his own dragon, which is going from snake to dragon. Roar. Lin Mu's 25,000-year-old Taoism and magic power circulated, opening a huge mouth like a bloody abyss. Roaring towards the sky towards the 4-color robbery. In an instant, billowing air waves rolled wildly, and the sky was dark. A powerful air wave rushed towards the 4-color robbery. Unbelievably, the four-color robbery seemed unable to bear the wave of energy. Without being able to hit Jiaolong's body, the brilliance gradually dissipated like a collapse. Yulei sizzled in the air, just like the scene after fireworks bloom. Boom. It was too late to say it, and then it was too fast. The four-color tribulation thunder just collapsed. A more terrifying tribulation thunder suddenly emerged from the black calamity cloud in the sky. Yin-yang, 5 elements and 5 colors tribulation thunder. Contains water, wood, fire, gold, earth, 5 element attributes. As soon as the thunder comes out, the thunder lights of various colors are blazing, and they are consistent. The 5 kinds of tribulation thunder energies are intertwined and superimposed together: blue, green, red, gold and gray. When the thunder pillar fell, it was like a starry sky collapsing, creating a terrifying scene of doomsday. Directly submerge the dragon on the ladder. I feel like I'm going to disappear. The people who eat melons will suffocate when they see the yin-yang, 5 element and 5 color tribulation thunder. Suddenly, it was as if the sky had collapsed and the earth had collapsed. There is no doubt that Jiaolong will die. This is the voice of countless people. 0 AAA seeking Flowersa AAA. Because this yin-yang, 5 element, 5 color tribulation thunder, mixed with 5 elemental attributes, is really terrifying. In this world, how many people, gods, ghosts and monsters dare to say that they survived such a thunderstorm? Needless to say, ghosts, thunder is their nemesis. This kind of yin and yang tribulation and thunder, even the ghost king of the deep mountain, can only die with hatred. What kind of strength does a mere dragon, who has practiced for 10,000 years, have to have in order to survive such a catastrophe and thunder? However, Lin Mu, who was exposed to the destruction of yin and yang, 5 elements and 5 colors, did not lose his fighting spirit. Not to mention falling apart. A pair of pupils still shone with tenacity. The way of devouring, suck it for me. The energy contained in this tribulation thunder is too abundant. The 5 elemental attributes also carry the prestige of the brilliant world. Suck what? Lin Mu had a bold and unorthodox idea. Absorb the power of Tianwei. The coercion of heaven and earth he is now bearing is getting stronger and stronger. If you can absorb part of the power of the sky by the way of devouring and integrate it into your body. 0. It is tantamount to becoming a relative with God. At least it can relieve a lot of pressure. With Tianwei in his body, he is naturally not afraid of the coercion of heaven and earth. But whether it will be successful or not, Lin Mu has no idea. After all, Tianwei is inviolable. However, after a long time, when the world thought that the dragon was going to fail in the tribulation, when the masters of demon slaying began to applaud, when the ghosts and gods of Gongxianxi began to smile, when the evergreen king of the demon spirit realm heaved a sigh of relief. Inversion again. The originally extremely powerful yin-yang, 5 element and 5 color tribulation thunder seems to be exhausted in the follow-up. Gradually dissipated by itself. The dragon on the ladder stepped into the eyes of the world. It's just that the Jiaolong that appeared again was not only not seriously injured, but also more majestic. The power of the gestures are like a sharp sword that has been unsheathed, showing its sharpness. Standing faintly towards the ladder, it forced people to have an unbearable urge to worship. It seems that this is not a flood dragon, but a real dragon that has ascended to the heavenly gate. The coercion is so strong that it is difficult to increase it. Enough to swallow mountains and rivers domineering. No, it's impossible. Wei Shuzun, who had been lying comfortably on the sandalwood chair at the headquarters of the demon slayer, suddenly stood up. A pair of bottomless eyes stared at the reappearing dragon on the ladder. It's fine to endure the yin-yang, 5 element and 5 color tribulation thunder without dying. It even completed an astonishing transformation. What's wrong with the First Lord? Wei Shuzun shook his head, and said in a hoarse voice, that dragon's momentum is wrong. At this moment, the Jiaolong on the ladder has an astonishing aura from top to bottom, and the majesty that permeates it is not to mention a mere 10,000 years of Taoism. Even if it is 100,000 years of Taoism, it is impossible to have it. Even if the opponent turns into a real dragon. That majesty is. The mighty Wei Shuzun didn't even dare to speak out. If he was afraid to come out, it would be too shocking. Don't talk about outsiders, even I don't believe it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.